Ombre here, which means hunger in Spanish. He came to us almost starved to death, not because he chose to, but I actually chose to go hungry. Hello everybody, it seems like forever since I've been on the farm, but those of you that started watching our channel because of Ombre here, you've been asking for an update to see how he was doing, and I think he's looking pretty amazing. So let me tell you a little bit more about him, and I'm also going to tell you about something kind of crazy that I tried. It doesn't have anything to do necessarily with the farm, but I went 5 days with no food on purpose. Well, let me take you with you. Let me take you with me as I talk about my experience and why I did it and what the outcome was. But I'm also going to show you Ombre and how good he's doing. I could not be more excited about his progress and how good he looks and how far he's come. This is him, guys. We have flashed back to what he looked like the day we brought him home from the auction, but I'm sure we'll do that again because his progress is just astounding. We are so blessed. He still likes to paw the ground, not because he is in pain like he was the first day when we brought him home and he was colicking, but it's just kind of a nervous thing he has going on. Just like some little kids suck their thumb, other people bite their nails. He has that little nervous habit of pawing, but he's doing so good, guys. Let me show you. I'm just gonna come up close. He's still a little hesitant when I come right up to him. See, I don't know if you can tell just by his mannerisms. He's got his head cocked, his ears back a little bit, but I'm gonna just start brushing on him, and you're gonna notice that he just stands here still. Look at that pretty coat now. When he came, he had a really rough coat that he had worms. His winter hair from last winter never came out until late in the season after we had got him and started deworming him and spending time getting him healthy. But now his winter coat has come in and it's healthy and he just looks awesome. He's come so far and I could not be more excited, and I can't thank you enough. We've had people get on our Amazon wish list and send us supplements and different treats and supplies that have really helped with this process. Actually, recently, some of you sent some things that we've been able to feed to the peacocks. Some people have asked, do you still have the peacocks? And we do. We have Wilma and Barney and Wilma, or no, Fred and Wilma. Sorry, Fred and Wilma. We have them, but we did lose one of the males to coyotes or dogs or something. So we've been keeping them locked up. We're hoping to get rid of some predators so that come spring we can let them back out and enjoy those beautiful feathers and just their personalities. But thank you so much for those of you. Someone sent, they're like some mealworm things, and oh my gosh, the peacocks love those. And then just other treats and the gift certificates at Tractor Supply, all of it has helped to make this possible. Look at how good he looks, guys. His coloring has changed so much from when we first brought him home, but that's just because now he has a winter coat on. And roan horses have a tendency to change colors from light to dark, dark to light. It just kind of goes back and forth depending on the time of year and how old they are and all that. But he is considered a red roan. He's got the frosted butt and see the red bangs. His bangs or forelock is just red. But he's also got kind of a frosted mane and tail too. But he looks awesome, guys. Eventually we'll let him go to a forever home, I think. But a lot of people have said you should keep him on the farm. The problem is we get attached to so many horses that if I kept them all on the farm, I don't have the room or the money to do that. So you could check out our patron account, our patron, I think it's called a patron account. Anyway, because for a small monthly fee, you're kind of sponsoring the farm, and so that things like that make it possible that we maybe could keep a horse like this. But again, I don't want to commit to it forever, just because that wouldn't make room for additional animals in the future. So I just don't know what to do. The one thing that I do know is that he's a lot healthier than the day we bought him at the auction for $25 and brought him home. Now, some people may say, you only paid $25. Why would you need it if we, not this horse specifically, but someone the other day said, you get them for not very much and then you sell them for a lot. And it's like, you don't quite understand. Say you get a horse for $200 only, right? But then you bring them home. Oftentimes they need to be castrated, they need to be dewormed. Castration costs about $250. Most veterinarians, I don't know what it is in your area. Then you've got feed, which is about $250 a month. You got any vet bills. You have other additional supplies and supplements. And it adds up. Within just months, you're into that $200 horse, $1,000. And so if I find him a home for $1,000, I didn't make a penny on rehoming the horse. But we accomplished our purpose of helping the horse get healthy and get to a better home. So I did want to explain that process real quick. But now let me tell you about myself. If you're not interested in this, feel free to turn it off. I totally understand. But I did something kind of crazy recently. Growing up, I was always the skinny kid. I graduated from high school at 135 pounds. Actually, just a month before graduation, during track season, I ran the mile and the half mile, and I dropped down to 125 pounds just a month before high school graduation. And yet I was as tall as I am now. So I was always the really skinny kid. Well, life happens and your metabolism slows down and you get into a job that you're in the car for hours on end, and things change, and I've gained weight and I'm not happy with where I'm at. And so I'm sure just listening to this, if you're listening right now, you're gonna all of a sudden have all kinds of ads about weight loss programs and all kind. It's a $1 billion industry. I understand that. But one thing that I kind of caught my attention was intermittent fasting. And at first I thought, that sounds like the dumbest idea I have ever heard in my life, because I like to eat, and mentally I just told myself, and honestly I feel like, man, I fast, just skip breakfast and I'm just famished and I've got to eat. And so intermittent fasting just did not sound good to me. But about a year or so ago, I tried it and I did lose some weight and I did pretty well. Well, then I got lazy. Once you start eating just 3 meals a day and snacks in between, the weight comes right back on, and so that was discouraging. But again, recently I thought, I gotta make some changes. And for some reason, I started looking into a more extended fast. And there's all kinds of research and YouTube videos and stuff out there for people who have fasted for 5, 10, 15 a month, 5, 10, or 15 days a month. There's even some guy that fasted for almost a year. Now this does not include liquids. Well, it does liquids, but this is just water in most cases, because you do have to stay hydrated. Well, I decided to try it. The 5 days before Thanksgiving, I did not eat any food. And why I picked right then, I don't know. I guess a couple reasons. For one, I just needed to jump in. The other reason was I wanted to eat Thanksgiving dinner, and why not try to be able to lose some weight before Thanksgiving and see how that went. I guess I'll give you a different view of scenery here. So that's what I did. I decided to go ahead and try a 5-day fast. Now, some people may be critical of how I did it, but again, to me, it doesn't matter. It's what I chose to do and how I chose to do it. I did not seek a doctor's help beforehand or after. And so I'm not encouraging you to do this without checking with the doctor, but I'm just telling you my process and how I did it. So I started on a Saturday morning, and some people will really think this was a stupid idea, but I started, okay, it sounds stupid just telling you. I started with an energy drink. Now I used to never even drink caffeine at all, but I've told you I get lots of headaches and the caffeine helps. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just start, because I'm weaning myself off of sugars in my body. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of pickup as I start into the fast. So that's how I started in. That day, after that, I just drank water. And honestly, the first day for me is the hardest, which is interesting. Because the first day you're telling yourself, oh my gosh, I gotta do this for how long? And I'm already hungry and it's 10 a.m. And that's the hard part. So you push through that first day. And that first day, I kind of got a headache. Just as your body depletes all the sugars and it hasn't kicked over into ketosis where it's burning fat as fuel, you get a headache. And so day one was tough. But I made it, and I did a good job. The next day I got up and I had just water mixed with this green powder. Maybe Vicky can put the link here or something as she edits. But it's got your green vegetables and some fruits and stuff, but it's like 0 calorie in water. And so I was getting my water, but I also was getting some vitamins and minerals. And I may have done 2 of those that day, if I remember right. But honestly, the second day, I started feeling better. You can almost feel when your body starts burning fat for fuel instead of the sugars. You start feeling some clarity. You stop feeling hungry. Now, would you like to eat? Yes, you would. But again, that's the thing I kind of wanted to do with this 5-day fast, was to reboot my mental system, to remind myself and show myself that you don't have to have food all the time. And so day 2 went relatively well. Just a kind of a mental struggle, some mental back and forth, trying to tell yourself again, am I really going to do this for 5 days? But I did it. Day 3 and day 4 were very similar. I actually felt really good. Would I have liked to have eaten? Yes, but that was mental. I actually felt pretty good. It wasn't like I felt like I had to go eat. I felt really good, actually. And I get a lot of acid reflux, and I don't know, what are some of the other things? I just feel foggy and feel like I need a nap. I actually would sleep very deeply at night, and I felt good. And so days 3 and 4 were good. Now not Friday, I don't know why I'm saying Friday, I guess just 5 days. It happened to be Wednesday, so the day before Thanksgiving. I woke up and felt like garbage. I don't know what it was, but I just had no energy at all. So mentally, it was challenging to not say, hey, I'm just gonna eat, because this is stupid. I'm glad I pushed through. And part of the reason I think I was able to push through was I had already gone into my 5th day, and we happened to be out of town watching Casey's basketball tournaments, and I didn't have a scale available to me. And so there was no way I was going to go 4.5 days and not know exactly how much I had lost, because I really wanted to know that. So I'm glad I pushed through. I actually had an energy drink on the 5th morning. And again, I am not trying to advertise energy drinks. Every bit of information out there tells you that they're horrible. But I'm just telling you what I did. I woke up with a headache and no energy. I was shaking on day 5. And I don't know why, because 3 and 4 had been wonderful. Pulled me out of the slump, and I was able to feel good again. And I don't think it pulled me out of ketosis, because the calories in that I probably burned off within an hour or so, I would guess, because I hadn't had any food for 4 days. But I went right back to feeling clear, not hungry, and life was great. So kind of a funny thing, on Wednesday night, of all things, I craved some cheese and crackers. Now, okay, I know I'm weird. I love cheese. I would rather have cheese than candy. And so as Vicky was buying some last minute stuff, and she was intermittent fasting through this process too, but she didn't do the total no food for 5 days. But we stopped by the grocery store to get some food for the family Thanksgiving, and I saw some cheese and I was like, oh, that's what I want to break my fast with. But again, didn't have a scale available to me until that night, about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Got to my brother's house and I said, hey, I've got a funny question. Do you have a bathroom scale that I can borrow? And my sister-in-law was like, yes. Like, that's a funny question to ask us right as you get in the house. But I went in and weighed, and if I could do a drum roll, I would do it. But I was actually a little discouraged. Sorry, he's going to the bathroom. We'll let him get over that process so you don't wonder if there's a leaky faucet behind me or something. So I had hoped, or kind of guessed, that I could lose 12 pounds in 5 days. Got on the scale and I had lost 11 pounds, almost exactly 11 pounds. So I was not quite to my goal, but at least I was headed in the right direction. And so guess what? The sad thing is I've gained some weight back, because to break your fast right before Thanksgiving is probably not the best idea in the world. And I could tell you a whole lot about that. I'm not going to start my own channel about intermittent fasting, because I don't want to do this every day for the rest of my life. But I have listened to some channels that I really like. And I will tell you this, I made some real mistakes coming off the fast. That night I just had some cheese and crackers and a banana, I think. And so not too much, and I felt pretty good. The problem is, when you start eating after 5 days of not eating, your brain tells your bowels to turn on, and it tells them to turn on all the way, because I don't know, because you haven't had anything there. And so by the next morning, I was like, honestly, I could have not eaten the next morning. I was okay to just, I could have eased into it. But psychologically, I'm like, I haven't eaten for 5 days. I'm going to start eating. So I started eating stuff, and I ate crappy stuff throughout the day. And as a result, I had stomach problems all Thanksgiving Day. Even though I'd eat, I also spent more time in the restroom than I would have liked to. And that's more information than you would like. But I just thought, you know what? Maybe there's some of you out there like myself that have been curious what would happen if you didn't eat for 5 days. Well, I now know personally, and I don't think I'll do it again anytime soon, but I do like the way I feel after day 1 of a fast. I think it stretches your mind. It causes you to have some clarity. It causes you to be able to just feel that you've accomplished something. And it also teaches you a lot about your body and about how God created your body. It's amazing to me that if I don't eat, I'm not gonna die. As long as I can stay hydrated, I've got plenty of food stored up for my body, and God changes it from burning sugar to burning fat. Now, you can watch all kinds of stuff and learn all kinds of things about, well, when does it start burning muscle? I don't think in 5 days I burned much muscle. I don't have a whole lot of muscle, but I was doing push-ups every day of the fast, and I was able to do as many on day 5 as I was on day 1. So I personally learned a lot. I'm glad I did it. And Ombre here, which means hunger in Spanish, he came to us almost starved to death, not because he chose to, but I actually chose to go hungry. And I think it was good. Am I where I need to be? No way. But am I more prepared mentally to make some changes in my life? I believe I am. I hope that's helpful. I know that's really a weird video for today, but thanks for coming along, and I hope seeing Ombre has been fun for you. God bless.